Hi everyone, Assalamu alaikum. Hope so you all are fine. So today in this lecture I will tell you about the MAC header. So first you must know what really MAC header is and what's its purpose. So MAC is basically called the media access control header, the data field added at the beginning of a network packet in order to turn it into a frame to be transmitted. A MAC header typically refers to an Ethernet header, which is the predominant network access method in use today. So let's come to the structure of a MAC header. MAC header having the payload of 46 to 1500 bytes. MAC header is composed of 6 octet and each octet of 8-bit pattern. The first 3 octets are called OUI, which is called Organizational Unique Identifiers. And then the next is called the NIC Network Interface Controller. NIC, which is called the Network Interface Controller. So in the first octet, the least significant bit, if it is 0, then this means it's a unicast, and if it is 1, then it means it's multicast. And the same goes with the least significant bit, second bit, which is if it's 0, then it's a globally unique, and if it is 1, then you can say it's a locally administered. So let's dive in deep, and we will see the first thing in header is the preamble, then the SFD, which is the start of frame delimiter, then the destination address, source address, and the overall header length here is the data. Then there is a CRC, cyclic redundancy check, and in last it's the interface gap. So this is a full MAC header. So this MAC header standard is 802.3 MAC header. So let's see what is the purpose of each octet. The first is the preamble. Preamble is composed of 7 bytes. There is a pattern of alternative of zeros and ones, which indicate that it's the starting of a frame and allows sender and receiver to establish bit synchronization. Initially, preamble was introduced to allow for the loss of a few bits due to the signal delays, but today high-speed Ethernet don't need preamble to protect the frame bits. So pre indicate the receiver that frame is coming and allow the receiver to lock onto the data stream before the actual frame begins. So there is the second thing is the SFD, start of frame delimiter. This is a 1 byte field which is always set to 10101011. SFD indicates that upcoming bits are starting of the frame, which is the destination address. Sometimes SFD is considered the part of pre. This is the reason preamble is described as 8 bytes in many places. So the SFD warns stations, and the stations that is the last chance for the synchronization. That this is the stations that this is the last chance for synchronization. So there is a destination address. This is a 6 byte field which contains the MAC address of machine for which data is destined. So where the data you want to send, here you must add the destination address. So destination address is added in a 6 byte field, and there is a source address from where the request is going on. There is a 6 byte field which contains the MAC address of a source machine. A source address is always an individual address. It's a unicast, and the least significant bit of first byte is always 0. So the length is a 2 byte field, which indicates that the length of entire Ethernet frame. This 16-bit field can hold the length value between 0 to 65534, but length cannot be larger than the 1500 because of some own limitations of Ethernet. So then it's comes to the data, that this is the place where actual data is inserted, also known as payload. Both IP header and the data will be inserted here if Internet protocol is used over Ethernet. The maximum data present may be long as 1500 bytes. In case of data length is less than the minimum length, that is 46 bytes, then padding zeros is added to meet the minimum possible length. That is CRC, the cyclic redundancy check, is 4 byte field. This field contains a 32 bits hash code of data which is generated over the destination address, source address, length, and data field. If the checksum computed by destination is not the same as sent checksum value, data received is corrupted. So I hope you understand all about the MAC header, what really this MAC header. So I hope you understand these things, and if you have any confusion you can ask me and I will answer it. So let's meet you in next lecture with another header. Okay, bye, thank you, Allah Hafiz.